Hey Taurus, what is up? Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Deborah. This is Purusha Intuitive, and we're looking at the energy for you for this week. I hope all is well in your world. Always sending love and blessings your way. What do we want to talk about? I don't really think I have anything to intro with. We're in Aries season. So it's a great time to, really focus on yourself, what you desire, bringing that into being, really simplifying our life and making sure that, everything that we're putting our time and energy into is moving towards our manifestations, right? I love that shower of abundance. Very beautiful for you, Taurus. So yeah, I think we'll just get right into it. You guys know that the energy is fluid, insight, and enlightenment. So this is a lot about it's like the good and the bad, right? It's remembering that that comes with everything, right? There's always going to be the shadow and the light, the good, the bad, the things we like, the things we don't like, etc. We can have our abundance, we can have our manifestation, but with it comes responsibility, right? And I feel like you've been in this space of dreaming what you want to bring in or how it's going to look. I hear that this is a lot more about refinement, right? Like what your ultimate goals and visions are and how you're going to get there. But in order to make that happen, Taurus, there needs to be a little bit more stability. It's like that concept of split energy, right? Like when we are all over the place, when we are plugging ourselves into too many things, it really puts us in a space of not being balanced, right? Hence what I was saying earlier of simplify, I think you have the idea. You know how you want it to look, but I think kind of molding it into that is easier said than done, right? Like we all have our habits, our patterns, how things show up, what we think is right, wrong, good, bad, that kind of stuff. Like the very linear ways of approaching life, where life really is way more fluid than we give it credit for. And that's why it is so important to tap into our intuition. That still small voice that speaks to us, that gives us direction. The best way to connect with that, if you're not familiar, is through manifestation. Well, yes. Meditation, taking some quiet time, reflection, etc. Really calming our mind, body, and soul. That's the easiest way we connect with our intuition. It's not like this big booming voice from the heavens, It's actually really interesting how it does manifest, right? Okay, so justice is popping out. This is Libra energy, being more diplomatic with your approach. Because I'm hearing it like this, right? We all set goals or we have ideas about how we want certain things in our life to look, right? And sometimes we can get so caught in the hamster wheel of doing it this one way. Well, it should work. Well, it should work. Where in reality, I'm hearing that you actually kind of need to shift and adjust your approach to things because you do have what you want. It goes back to what I was talking about, refining. I think you just need to see it with a fresh pair of eyes. Maybe it's not feeling like what you dreamed it up to be. But that's what Spirit's saying. It's it doesn't mean that you can't have that or that doesn't exist. There just needs to be some shifting and changing on your end. And that actually is coming from simplifying, finding a little bit more stability and direction. Gosh, the Blasted Tower. This is, I keep calling it the Blasted Tower. It's the tower, the Blasted Beach in this deck. Not to laugh at it because it's a hard energy. It is really when there is upheaval. something has happened and come into play that has made it really, really hard for you to kind of connect with this dream. What you feel like you have been working so hard to create. There's some type of epiphany. It could be with love, relationship, someone you were connected to. The Six of Cups really speaks to, you know, either things of the past, long-term relationship, soulmate, that type of vibe. Something completely shifted. There's that Libra energy. Got thrown off course for you guys. It's interesting because Venus actually rules Taurus and Libra. So, like I said, this could be someone that you have really great synergy with, great partnership with. But it does look like things have shifted. I feel like you might be seeing things fall apart, but not necessarily understanding why it's happening is what I'm hearing. And that kind of goes back to what we were talking about in the very beginning, right? Like, you know, if we keep the approach the same, that's when it becomes detrimental. What did, like, Einstein say? There's that quote of, like, you know, of the doing the same thing over and over again is that level of insanity. I'm probably not saying it right, but it's like, oh yeah, like doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results is that level of insanity, right? Because whatever is happening, whatever is transpiring, it's not working. I think you see that. I think you know that. You are kind of going into self-protection mode. There is something within you that feels like overwhelmed. Like you have to do it all yourself is what I'm hearing. When you are trying to show up and work together and be on the same team, let's look at this other individual or situation's energy. Okay. So there's conflict, you know, conflict in this dynamic, whether it's a person or situation. This is someone who, you know, there's a lot of pain underneath the surface. The pain is making them feel conflicted is what I'm hearing. And if this is like a situation that you're dealing with, you know, this just speaks to like a lot is going on, right? Maybe behind the scenes, something you can't really realize. Maybe you're looking at a job or, you know, you signed on to something that you're like, this is perfect. We work so well together, etc. When in reality, there's a lot going on behind the scenes. And I feel like that's kind of why you start self-protecting. That's why you know, I mean, I feel like you kind of just like don't want to put a lot of energy into it is what I'm hearing. King of Pentacles. So that's Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy. The King of Pentacles to me is generally like our partner, right? The person that we kind of choose to live life with, long-term relationship. Maybe this person is... What are they doing? Why are they blocking you? Yeah, so there's something about... I feel like you're getting outside information, right? So King of Pentacles, Queen of Wands, this is talking about how like just very different approaches to things, right? Especially with your earth energy, you could be dealing with a fire sign, someone who's a little more fiery, kind of all over the place. But it does look like they have a lot on their plate, right? And maybe either you're not seeing it or you have someone who is advising you otherwise is what I'm hearing. Like you might be listening to things that, yeah, it's just like not, I don't know. I'm hearing this is like not legit information. there is someone who's kind of whispering in your ear. I don't feel like the King of Pentacles is you. I feel like there's multiple people in this situation. One person's telling you one thing, you're seeing another thing from this individual over here. And then, you know, like I said, their energy, like their heart is in the right place is what I hear, but the actuality of it is not. It's not in the right place, Taurus. This inability to move forward, you know. Earth energy is very slow, Knight of Pentacles. It's challenging to move the ball forward, but again, that happens when we stop communicating. This has been coming up for all the zodiac signs for many weeks now about this value to communication, right? When we stop talking, you know, it leaves us in that space of assuming, right? And what does assuming do? You know, it makes an ass out of you and me, right? It doesn't allow us to live that level of integrity, etc. I don't know. I feel like this person or situation is having a hard time moving forward. Maybe they don't understand the dynamic between you and them. Like I said, they might not be divulging what's going on with them, or there is more behind the scenes than what you see. Maybe this level of taking it personally. But again, like when we listen to other people's outside people's opinions versus going to the source, that's when it starts getting messy, right, guys? Yeah, that's when there is, so Knight of Wands energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, someone who, and the King of Wands. And the High Priestess. Okay. Let me pull one more to clarify. It's a lot. Oh gosh, I was just gonna say there's lots of people showing up in this dynamic. So, you know, like I mean, it's, and maybe like that, maybe that's the problem, is too many people are weighing in on this situation. Too many people know about what's going on, and it's actually really separating you, Taurus, from listening to what your instincts are saying. And again, going back to what I was just talking about, right? Like if we are getting advice from everyone around us, but not specifically going to the source, that just makes it really messy. Because no one can give you the information that you need, you know. Ooh, only the source. The moon. The moon deals with our emotions, our feelings, so maybe letting our emotions get the best of us. I feel like intuitive, like, and that's kind of goes back to this Night King energy with the High Priestess. I feel like you understand what this is, but you want it to look different. And so instead of addressing the issue or the problem, you're trying to force it in a different way. It goes back to what we were talking about, right? Like, you knew what your dream was. You have been connecting with it, doing the work, but not really tapping into other options, other possibilities, other ways to approach it. And there might be a lot of wounding attached to this, right? Like, you know, often the things that we're afraid other people are doing or communicating to us, it's our own stuff, right? It's our own triggering, it's our own wounding. It is from the ancestors, our lineage, it's passed down in our DNA. It is, you know, childhood wounding. It's all that stuff, right? And that's why it's so important to be cognizant of those triggers, because, yeah, like, there might be this element of, well, I'm hearing this as twofold. Like, If your knee-jerk reaction is just to cut someone off without the information, that needs to be looked at. That to me is like trauma wounding. With this cutting board, I'm also hearing like refine it, you know, exactly what we were talking about beforehand. Take a different approach. That wish, that opportunity, the fulfillment is there. But if you keep doing the same things over and over and over again, then, you know, you'll miss that, you know, or it's just going to keep you in the same hamster wheel. And no one wants to do that, right, Taurus? And that's why I do these readings, to hopefully give you insight into what you're navigating through. I hope that it helps. I'm sending love and blessings to your situation. I know things are not easy, right? Life is messy, it's hard, etc. But that's why I love the tarot, because it really helps us kind of see between the lines, right? So if you enjoyed the video, big thumbs up, drop comments below. Let's build and grow the community. Thank you so much for the love and support to the channel. I greatly receive it and appreciate it. Lots of love and blessings back to you.